And
That's a good one.
hello and welcome, welcome back to Draig Dice, the Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign here on the Bunny and Dragon Network. I am the Dungeon Master, the Dragon, and I am joined by 5 of my 6 wonderful players today. We have Amelia, Chubba, Sword, Zed, and Bunny, all joining us today. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. buddy.
So once again, we are currently also raising money for Macmillan Cancer Support. You can type !donate or find the donation underneath the video in the channel description. And do consider, because it's a very worthy cause. Also, next week, we won't have Amelia, I believe that's correct, yeah?
No, I'll be on a plane.
Yes, we won't have,
No,
we won't have Amelia
think
next
that's
week,
fine.
but we should still be going ahead as long as everybody else is here. Which I haven't heard that anyone else is going to be away.
Yeah, just imagine trying to do a D&D Pathfinder session in an airplane.
Yeah, I think airplane mode would very much put an end to that.
No, as I said, there is Wi-Fi on planes.
No, it's true.
I just-
Technically, it would be possible, but very difficult.
Mm.
But then
Let alone
everybody,
the-
Try to
With everyone else.
drive steady and try to roll dice here.
everyone should though be then back for the week after, I believe, right?
2 weeks
Um,
after.
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
So Amelia,
yeah.
okay. So Amelia will be gone for the next 2 weeks, but then
Yeah.
everyone will be back. But we should still be going ahead with the rest of the group on those 2 weeks.
And Jack
So-
is too big to hide in her luggage, so Jack's having to stay behind.
Basically. So, to recap where we left off last time, the party
Great
after,
Suicide Squad rings a bell.
perhaps, the party after arriving back at the city decided to do a bit of what they needed. Magna got himself healed up at the nearby Temple of Life by a cleric of Serenray. Meanwhile, the rest of the party went to buy medicine tools for Boohurt so he could actually treat people's wounds and help heal people. When they discovered that the store owner was rather upset as his son had gone missing just about a month ago. Investigating and looking at the wanted posters and the notice board outside the bounty office, they found that 3 children in total had gone missing within the past month. Each one seemingly disappearing without a trace from their bedroom. One of the children had been spotted just walking along the street past the musical college of Liar's Rest by one of the people there, reportedly. Another neighbor reportedly saw the previous child to go missing just leaving his house. The party spoke to the mother of the most recent disappeared child. Tedo the Show was the mother's name, or the child's name. It was one of the names. And from Tedo was her son's name, and her name was To the Show. And from her, you followed her to her house, and she showed you the alley which her elderly neighbor had followed the boy into before he inexplicably disappeared. You found a doorway, the remnants of an invisible doorway spell, a spell that essentially just makes a doorway that you step through into another location. That had been very quickly cast and then dispelled before the woman could turn the corner and end up wandering through it, seemingly to take the kid. After listening to her recount the night, you realize that whoever was taking the kids seemed to be some sort of Pied Piper, enchanting them with flute music, and realize that all of the victims' parents had a identical necklace. A necklace that after again Tristan from Tristan's Trinkets, a magical shop owner, to inspect. Well, no, he didn't inspect the necklace. He inspected the portal. You guys theorize that these necklaces are, from what he said, possibly boosting the power of whoever's enchanting the kids in order to allow them to enchant them from far away. You found out who the most recent necklace buyer was, and found that her kid worked as an assistant at the nearby potion shop. After waking up, or rather interrupting the evening of the owners of the potion shop, one of them, a lady, a catfolk lady by the name of Zafra Laria, showed you guys over to the house of the kid, where as you got there, one of the other parents, another catfolk, turned up and said that she had seen the necklace seller who took her kid, and claiming that he had taken her kid, and she had seen him disappearing into an alley and walking through an invisible door. She led half the party there, but when they got there, it was a trap, as they were ambushed, as the lady turned out to be someone using a magical disguise, and the party that went that way were all ambushed by a group of cloaked figures around them. And this is the point at which we enter today.
And
with
we've had flashback from last week. That's all we've got time for.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night. No.
You'll make that so long.
That was a long recap because a lot happened last time. That's the thing. All of that happened in one session. It was a lot happened. Right. So, Magna and Tazaki, you guys are both.
There's no point start with us. We just come out.
No, I am starting with you. You are both.
Okay.
You are both outside watching the house from various angles from the alleyways nearby, waiting to see if anything happens. Just the rest of the party have just left, heading up the street, and you've settled into your position to start watching. Not much time has passed, about 20-30 seconds. As you stand there watching, you begin to feel cold. Looking around, you can see a slight fog has begun to set in the distance of just around you, and you hear a sound begins reverberating through the air around you. The sound of eerie pipe music begins to emanate around.
Okay, look around to see if I can see the piper.
As you're looking around, the pipe music, it seems to be reverberating from all around you guys, and you can see what looks like a bank of fog closing in and beginning to appear around you. Just behind you, Magna, you see a fog just behind you, and where the alley was up before clear, almost like a wall of fog has begun to coalesce and solidify into this smoky, unnatural mist. The same appears to be happening at either end of the house before you, which Tazaki, Spiderbot, and Adur are on the other side of. You see this mist beginning to gather and form. What are you guys doing?
Can we see anyone through the windows of the house at this point?
You cannot. Does not appear to be anyone around. Tazaki, do you want to do anything? Does Adur want to do anything? What are you guys doing?
Tazaki, anything? So, Zaki will try to get a very good look at the inside of the house.
So you're gonna move away from the alleyway you're in, out to the front of the house, or?
They're going to try to look into the house as well as they can.
Are you
The
gonna?
nearest,
Are you going to?
the nearest window. Is there any windows on the side?
No windows on the side.
And I'm guessing he's gonna go to one end of the house and look through. Yeah.
Gonna actually go around the side, the back to the front of the house. So if you round the front of the house, this particular house doesn't have any windows on the bottom floor. The only windows are higher up on the upper floor. What you can see.
No windows on the bottom floor.
Nope.
What are they? Moles? Mole people?
There are no windows on the bottom floor.
Convenient.
Most of the houses around here don't have windows on the bottom floor. Presumably to like deter burglary and stuff.
Then they might as well just have no door either. Okay.
There is an actual in-world reason, but I don't know if it's worth explaining. But well, Magna wouldn't know, and neither would Tazaki, actually, what about the architectural choices. So Tazaki rounds the front. What about Ida and the Spiderbot?
Well, as I said, Ida is going to come closer. If you want to unpause, I can move Ida. Ida is going to come round.
Yeah. So as Ida is coming round...
I'm going to come round so more to the front anyway.
Yeah. As you all begin converging and moving towards the house, just as Ida and Tazaki and the Spiderbot come around the side of the house, Tazaki and Ida, as they're moving through this fog, they feel, as the fog begins to around them, you almost feel your limbs getting stuck in it, and you have to pull yourself out of it very quickly as the fog coalesces, becoming... You can't even see through it. And as Ida scurries out of it, he turns around and sort of puts a claw forwards, and he just hits the fog like a solid wall. The four of you, including the Spiderbot, appear to be trapped inside this ring of fog that's surrounding this house. As you hear the flute music that has been emanating from all around begins to focus almost. You hear it more coming from directly in front of you as you see a form of mist begins to coalesce before you into a humanoid shape. As the figure essentially walks out of the mist that has formed around you and walks forwards. A figure dressed in darkish clothing, a long coat, boots, pretty nondescript in themselves. Upon his chest, you see an emblem emblazoned of what appears to be a rather strange 8-pointed star, with a circle around it. The inside of it being a small circle with 8 straight lines coming off, each ending in a little cross section like a T, and a larger circle around the outside. This silvery 8-pointed star, this symbol that you've never seen before. The man is holding a flute up to his lips and appears to be playing as he walks forwards towards you. As he does so, you see movement at the edges of the mist as creatures swarm from the edges of the mist towards you guys, appearing to be swarms of rats. Meanwhile,
Yay, Ratcatcher. Hello, Ratcatcher.
Meanwhile, up further away, the rest of the group, you have just been surrounded by a group of these cloaked figures, and I will pull everybody into the scene. As you, the rest of you, are up there, along with this catfolk who showed you the way to the house in the first place, and then kind of followed you up here and was prevented from leaving by the disguised person. You find yourself surrounded. 4 cultists, 2 behind, 2 in front, as well as the lady herself who brought you here, who draws a pipe, a flute, out from her cloak. She too, and all of these cultists, have this same symbol, the 8-pointed star, emblazoned upon them. And with that, I will need initiative rolls from everybody.
Do Matilda and Boohurt recognise these?
You have never seen this particular cult symbol in your before. Or at least it's not something you would definitely know. You're very unlikely to have seen this particular symbol before. Okay, so
Nice roll, Tazaki.
So who has rolled in total? Tazaki, Magna, Matilda. I will roll for Dave.
L, yep, L has a 15.
15. Okay.
Yeah.
Rolled in
Is
person.
that a straight 15, or is that after your pluses, L?
Yeah. Have you had? Is that with your pluses or without?
No, it's just regular. I just
Regular,
rolled a
okay.
15.
So that's
Thank you.
15 plus 8, because 8 is your plus. So that's
23, I think.
23.
23.
Yeah.
So Jomin gets a 23 to initiative. So I will give Jomin a 23. So is that everybody? Boohurt, Tazaki, Magna.
Have you rolled for,
I have rolled for Dave.
Dave?
Boohurt, Tazaki, Magna, Matilda, Dave, and Jomin. That is everyone. So it begins, and Tazaki. So
We're gonna
this-
run the 2 battles at the same time then.
yep,
This
that
is-
is this is how this runs. Yep. So you guys were sort of began to converge upon the center. So you guys are more there, and the rats are here, just coming out of the fog cloud, essentially. So you, Tazaki, your spider bot would essentially be there. Magna, you're there, and Ido is there. So Tazaki, you are first to go. What do you want to do?
Oh, Tazaki seeing the rat. Tazaki, so Tazaki seeing the rats, and the spy bot next to one of the swarms of rats
Mm-hmm.
gets by the boss to attack it.
Okay, you want to command the spider bot to attack? Go ahead, roll the spider bot's attack. This is your first action, and the spider bot gets 2 actions.
Oh,
So that's a
25.
25 to hit. The rat swarm will indeed hit, so go ahead and roll damage. Three damage. Oh. Alright, what is that piercing damage?
Yes, piercing.
Okay, so the spider bot jumps in, bites, grabs a bite of into one rat, but the swarm itself, as soon as the spider bot bites into them, the swarm turn their head towards the spider bot. And they swarm in almost a strange, almost a circling pattern. You can see them swaying as the piper plays his music. The swarm is very much undeterred by the spider bot's first attack. It has second action. You also remember have things like your explode ability that lets your spider bot explode.
Yeah.
Which doesn't destroy the spider bot, I should say. It's more like it vents off an explosion around it, but it doesn't get damaged itself.
Mm-hmm.
But it does have to then make a roll to see if it can use unstable actions after that.
Right. Spider-bot will then go. I then command it. So Taki then commands the Spider-bot to go in between the duelist playing the pipe and the rats.
Okay, so it steps up in between them with its second action. Which means you have 2 actions left.
Then it explodes.
Okay, so let me just check the... let me check the... how the unstable thing works. Because it does something specific, and I need to know if the roll happens before. When you take an unstable action, attempt a check immediately after applying the action's effects. So, okay, so... the spider bot explodes. You don't have the breakthrough innovation class feature, do you? Because you're only level 2. So,
Spider-bot. Ouch.
So go ahead. So it has it deals fire damage in a 5-foot emanation around it. So that would also catch the rats. That rat's square. That would catch them because they are 5 feet away.
Yeah.
It should catch everything in a 5-foot around it. It's weird that it chooses to catch that side but not the other side.
Yeah, very weird.
But yeah, it will catch the rats. That's the DM discussion. The Foundry can't always get everything right. So I think it's just I know why it's doing that, and it's because it's meant to be an emanation focused on the fin. So they have to make a basic reflex save, and it's a DC 17. So the rats got a critical success.
Oh.
The normal dude gets a standard success, which means the rats take no damage. Oh, ignore that. That was me trying to make sure. And the guy would take half damage. So you can go ahead and roll the damage for the explode. It should have a damage thing. Does it actually have a damage option on your thing? Does a damage roll option?
So next person deals level 5 damage. So 2, 3, 6, 5. Yeah, there we go.
So 7. So as the creature, as Spider-Bot runs up and it primes itself and the vents on its back open and a blast of fire explodes around it. The rats are very quick, as they are known for, and they jump back away from the fire, hissing at the Spider-Bot. The man himself is not as quick to react, and though he does manage to avoid the brunt of the fire, part of it does catch upon his arm. Not significant, but it does manage to at least injure him a little bit. I will need you to make the DC 17 unstable check now. So just click on that yourself, and that's a critical failure. So On a quick... It becomes incapable of being used. So you take 2 fire damage. And so as after the spider bot does that, a blast of sparks erupt from it as the vents close, and it sparks and jitters a bit, and it is now unable to take any further unstable action. So have you dealt yourself the fire damage? 2 fire damage? There you go. So you can just click on your token and click the damage button, and it will deal the damage. Oh, actually, because you're far away from it, you technically shouldn't be able to take that damage. So instead, the spider bot will take that damage instead of you.
Okay.
Because
damage.
you can't actually... You're way too far away from it for the malfunction to even hurt you. Yeah, the minion takes the damage instead of you, and so you cannot take any more unstable innovations until you spend some time fixing the spider bot. It can still do normal stuff, but it just can't do unstable stuff. And that is your turn, because that's all 3 of your actions. So
that's it.
It would be Dave's turn next, and so Dave will first of all rage, because he's a barbarian. Of course he's gonna rage. So Dave will rage, which gives him temporary HP. So as you rest of you there are surrounded, Dave he readies his fists and gets very angry, and we will I would assume run up and punch someone in the face. That seems like the appropriate thing to do. And he also has... So Dave, let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20. Dave runs up, and he runs up to the first cultist ahead of him, and he just punches straight at their face. He gets a 20 to hit, which does hit. So Dave just runs up, strikes the cultist right in the face. The cultist, having just stepped out of these invisible teleporting in, basically stepping out of the walls, very mysterious. They've all drawn their weapons. Is very surprised when an angry, bigger than average human just runs up to him and punches him full force in the face. He is very much taken aback by it and stumbled backwards. As that's 1, 2, that's 3. That's all Dave's actions. Jomin, it is your turn.
Okay.
What would Jomin like to do?
The gentleman would like to, like to pull out, his, what weapons do I have again?
So you have a short sword.
If you let me see Joe in a second, I'll bring up a character sheet so his character sheet so Elle can see it.
Yeah, I can give you viewership of Jomin.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea because Elle needs to see the battle and I'm on the wrong side of it.
Oh yeah. You can't see the token right now, can you?
I can't see the battle on our side.
There we go. You should be able to see Jomin now.
I'll just use my short sword.
Yeah, you want to draw your short sword?
Yeah.
Okay, so you draw your short sword out. There are 4 2 enemies that are quite close behind you. You also have your spells. You have 2
Chipper showed
actions
me how
left.
to be able to see everything, so I can see the battle now.
You have 2 actions left. What do you want to do?
You're by there.
Wanna,
You got bad guy there.
Yeah, 2 of them are very close behind you, right behind Matilda and Boohurt.
I want to run up to the guy near Matilda first.
Okay, so you can just step up to him, and then what would you like to do?
The gentleman is gonna try to. Well, actually, that's it. I don't want to do anything else.
Yep, you have 1 action left.
Do you want to use your... You got your short sword out. Do you want to use your short sword?
Yep. You can use your sword, you can cast a 1 action spell like shield or even heal. Or
Shield?
they're on hand. Yeah, you want to cast heal? Who do you
Shield.
want to... Oh, shield. Did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, shield.
Okay, you cast shield on yourself. So you become... You get spell effect. So you, as you run up to the cultist, you summon the divine energy from your holy symbol, and a magical shield begins to form around you. This shimmering shield of magical energy. And that is your turn. As next up, the rat swarm. One of the rat swarms is next to act. As the swarm, having just been attacked by the spider bot, as the piper plays to his pipes, the rats cock their heads to the side and listen for a moment, and then they swarm around the spider bot and begin to attack it. And the rats have a few. So they are going to attempt.
This whole thing with controlling rats seems very familiar, Diddy.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Yes. Not copyright or anything.
Well, it isn't copyright. The Pied Piper is an old story that is absolutely uncopyrighted.
I want about Suicide Squad.
What?
Being what?
Rat things have been around for ages. This
Yeah.
is more Pied Piper than Suicide Squad.
I know, but it's just the fact that we've seen that recently, like last week or whatever, and then suddenly we're being someone who controls rats.
The spider bot takes 6 points of piercing damage, and it needs to make a reflex save.
Alright.
It gets 14, so it fails its save. Unfortunately, it is now in. Oh no, hold on. The spider bot's immune to disease, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the spider bot is perfectly fine.
Immune to bleed, death effects, disease, doom, drain, fatigue, blah blah blah.
So
all
yeah,
the way to one.
spider bot's fine. It doesn't even need to make that save. But the rats begin swarming around it, and they begin leaping at it, biting into the metal itself. They begin trying to tear it apart as they swarm around it. The next up One of the cultists acts next. The cultist by Boohurt. He attacks with his dagger at Boohurt. So he strikes at you with this mean curved dagger. Does a 20 beat your armor class, Boohurt?
It does.
Only just. But yes, unfortunately it does. So, Boohurt, you take 7 points of piercing damage. As the cultist lunges forward, it swipes the dagger and strikes you in the back. They then attempts to strike you again, and this time he gets a critical hit.
Excellent.
You take 14. You take 21 points of damage as the cultist leaps forward and stabs the blade right into your back, and your consciousness fades and you collapse to the floor. After taking down Boohurt, the cultist steps over Boohurt's body towards Matilda. Meanwhile, the other cultist that Jomin has run up to attempts to strike first at Jomin. What is Jomin's armor class? With the magical shield, that makes it a 18 with the shield. Okay, so he does indeed hit, and Jomin receives 6 points of damage. The cultist then strikes, this time attempting to hit Matilda. Does a 12 hit you, Matilda?
I don't think so, but I'll double check now.
I would be very surprised if it did. No.
18, yeah.
No, it doesn't.
So, as he then tries to strike you, Matilda, the corner of the wall in front of him very much gets in the way and blocks the blow. He tries to lunge through and stab you with his last attempt. And an 18 is your armor class, right?
Pardon? 18, yeah.
So with the final, with a final lunge, he does manage to stab you through the gap between Jomin and the wall. You take 7 points of damage.
Did that work? Did I take 7 points of damage there? Hang on.
It hasn't gone through.
Right. Try that. No. Right. I've typed in 7 and it goes. It's my things are flagging.
The little button on the left with the arrows going down.
Yeah, I've tried pressing that, but it's the number disappears and it's not working.
Oh well, there we go. Now it's gone. Now I just put it through.
Multiple points of damage there.
Well, oh no, it goes. One goes up and one number goes up and one goes down. I think. Yeah, like that. It's weird. Two of the same number appear whenever you gain or remove health.
Ah.
How much health did Matilda have before? That seems like... Yeah, no, that might be about 7. I don't know.
Yeah, Matilda had 20 HP before. Meanwhile, something else does happen as that cultist strikes at Matilda. Boohurt, as you've been stabbed and as you're falling to the ground, the lady, the catfolk who from the potion shop, sees you fall and stretches out a hand towards you. As she had this reaction, which she was going to use, and I had forgotten that she had it, but she was going to use it. She reaches out her hand towards you as you fall, and you... so how much health did you go into the minus on? You took... Because you took a lot of damage on that last attack.
I was on 14 and I took something like...
21 you took. So 14...
Yeah, 21 more.
So she stretches out her hand, and you feel as you're falling, life energy flood into you, and you open your eyes, and you feel the wounds that you were just being stabbed close slightly. So what's 14 minus 21? No, 21 minus 14.
7.
7. So, Buhut, you are on 1 hit point. She then, as you look at her, you can see she groans in pain as you can see blood begins to seep from her back in the same place where you had been stabbed as your wound closes.
Side is she on?
So it appears that it appears that she has saved your life by taking the damage herself. Essentially, you are on 1 hit point. You are, however, wounded. You are wounded 1. But you are alive and awake. And it is your turn next. What do you want to do?
Whose turn is it?
It's Buhut's turn.
Oh.
Okay.
So you've just been saved by Zafra. You are on 1 HP. The guy who just stabbed you has stepped past you, not realizing that you're not dead yet, and is about raising his blades to attack Matilda.
Would I have my weapon drawn already, or considering I'd just gone to the ground, even if I did, I would still need to pick it back up again, wouldn't I?
You guys were ambushed. So your weapon would be sheathed at the moment, unless you had it drawn while you were on the way into the alley, in case you found... Actually, I think some of you did draw your weapons before going into the alley, didn't you?
Yeah, I specifically said not because I was completely taken aback and surprised at the betrayal, but I thought that we were about to be facing the one single Pied Piper, so I had my weapon out and ready.
Yeah, your weapon has not fallen from your hand yet because you have not fully collapsed, so you're just about able to keep your grip on it and stop it from falling, so it is in your hand currently.
Now it's time for payback.
Now, as you say that, the guy who stabbed you spins very worriedly in your direction. He is also currently flanked.
I'm going to do a power attack.
Okay,
so
go ahead. Go ahead and make a power attack. That's only a 13. Do you want to use a hero point?
I might as well. A 13's probably not going to hit, is it?
I cannot tell you whether it hits or not until you've decided if you want to use a hero point. But it is unlikely in general. It's a pretty low roll.
I will use a hero point.
Okay.
It's not showing up. Where does it show up?
Normally if you right click the roll, but otherwise you can just make the strike again, make the attack roll again, and just remove a hero point manually.
Yeah. It takes so long for my laptop to actually load anything.
And that's a 19. And if it counts as 2 strikes, when if it hits, you deal an extra die of weapon damage. That does hit. So go ahead and roll damage. And this will be doing 2 dice of weapon damage, 2 d12s in fact. Is it? Oh, are you swinging with 1 hand or 2 hand? You had it in 1 hand, didn't you?
1 hand, yeah.
Yeah. So you deal 13 points of damage as you swing and strike the cultist across the shoulder and chest. He reels back as his hood, as you strike him, cutting right through the symbol emblazoned on his chest. And as you cut him, his you can see each of these cultists is wearing a very plain mask, very much just completely blank white mask with a neutral facial expression. Almost basically imagine theater masks in real life. You know, the sort of the sort of theater masks with just a blank facial expression rather than the happy and sad expressions. And as you slash him, he falls back, his hood falls down, and the mask falls away, falling to the ground and clattering on the ground. As you see a rather sort of a maybe mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, not particularly old man, this human man before you, who you're pretty sure like you've even seen this guy just wandering in the marketplace at times, just wandering around town.
I still have 1 last action, yeah?
Yep, you have 1 action. If you make an attack, it will be the multi-attack penalty -10. Because the power attack counts as 2 attacks for multi-attack penalty. But you do have other abilities like raising the shield and battle meds and so on and so forth.
Yes, I think I might just raise my shield.
Yeah, okay, so you, after striking him, you just raise up your shield in the defensive stance ready to defend yourself. Zafra, after saving you, turns and sees the people in front of her, the enemies before her, and she will... She raises her hand, and you see what looks like a small weasel with black fur dotted with stars climbs up out of her sleeve. As she raises her hand, the hand glows, and what seems to be a pattern of colours, these shifting colours, appear in the air around the group before her. It's almost this very hypnotic, swirling, colourful pattern that appears around them, and each of them has to make a saving throw. As she casts a spell at them. So, one of them does fail. Let's see, the target is... So, that's a standard failure. So, the one that was just punched in the face by Dave looks up at the pattern, and immediately you see... Well, you can't see because his face is covered. Now, this person, having been punched in the face, their mask has just shattered into pieces. You see as she looks up at the pattern, her face almost goes blank as she just stares at it, and her arms fall limply by her side. For a second, as she looks up and she starts shaking her head, trying to not look at the pattern, but you can see even as she's turning to Dave to fight him, she keeps glancing and looking at the pattern to see, sort of look at it and watch it. The other two do not seem affected by the magic, and the lady with the pipe just smiles at this, an evil grin, as the pattern begins to fade. Actually, does it fade or does it remain? Oh no, yeah, if it enters turn. Oh yeah, it is. The pattern stays, so I'll keep that there. That's 2 actions for her. And with her final action, she moves down towards you. As she moves down towards you, the weasel jumps up off of her hand onto a small crate nearby. Actually, no. As she gets up to you with the weasel jumps off of her hand, landing on the floor by there, and bites at the cultist that Boohurt has just attacked. As it leaps at the cultist and attempts to bite him. It gets an 18. Which does hit. So the weasel leaps forwards at the cultist. Striking it. And as it strikes it, it deals damage. And after it strikes the cultist, the weasel begins wrapping itself around the cultist. Wrapping itself around him. And seemingly... weasels have pretty long bodies, so it begins scurrying around the cultist, around his arms, around his legs, and generally causing the cultist to be it's sort of just scurrying around him in circles, causing the cultist to be very distracted and restrained. He cannot move because the weasel just keeps running around him and tripping him. He cannot move without being tripped, or otherwise injured by this weasel. The 1, 2, 3, yeah, that's 3 actions, so that's the end of the weasel's turn. The cultist that was fascinated by the glowing pattern does strike at Dave before him, and if I can get Dave's stats up, he does hit as he strikes at Dave with his dagger in revenge for being punched in the face. And manages to cut into Dave's shoulder. Something which Dave doesn't really react much to, other than to just keep raising his fist for another attack. The cultist attempts a second attack at Dave, which, if I'm correct, is that critical failure? It does critically fail. The cultist has gotten a critical failure on his attack, which means he will roll a critical failure card. And it's medic. Trigger reactions as if you had moved a move action. Dave does not have opportunity attack, unfortunately. But the cultist misses. He then decides to go for a easier bait and runs down this way. he is no longer in the area. Oh, and creatures are dazzled while inside the... Ah, right. Okay, right. Creatures inside the pattern are dazzled. Got it. I need to remember that. So he runs down there. And now that he's left the pattern, I think he's no longer fascinated. No, he is still fascinated. So even as he runs away from the glowing pattern, he still keeps glancing back at it and wanting to look at it. The Piper, the lady who led you guys into the trap, grins. And she reaches her hand out towards Dave. She draws a rapier from her side. She reaches her hand out towards Dave. And with her... points out the rapier towards him and plays some notes on this flute that she has. And she plays the notes. As she plays on the flute, you see a glow burst out from her, and you see each of her fellow cultists. A slight glow appears around them. And just for a second, she appears to have used a very similar spell to those to you guys, as you've seen Matilda use it herself, as she appears to have inspired courage in her allies. Then she, after doing that, will command, as she commands the person next to her, and speaks to him as she stops blowing the flute, stops her tune on the flute, and speaks to the man standing beside her. You are the chosen one of the Great Sleeper. Destroy his enemies. And she has to make a deception check against him. Yep. As the man grins. Yes, I shall destroy. Well, grins. I keep forgetting they have masks. I'm sorry. As I don't know how to. There's no facial expressions. The man you hear the voice speak out from beneath his cloak. His mask. I shall destroy them, master. As he has 5 temporary HP. The other Piper, meanwhile, down with Magna and Adur. Still...
And Zaki and Spiderbot.
And Zaki and the Spiderbot. Still plays the flute, unhindered. As he does so, as he does so, you hear the chilling tune as he plays very specific notes, and as he does so, you see images begin to appear around him, as coming out of him, 3 versions of himself come out of him and begin to swirl around him in a circle. As the 4 mix together, constantly shifting, you begin to lose track of which one is the real Piper. And he then casts Shield on himself. He is cast mirror image. So anytime you attack him, you're gonna have to roll a specific die to see if you hit him or one of his duplicates. Matilda, it is your turn.
Okay. I might quickly have a look at spells. I'm tempted to do like the fear spell to like make the No, that's not a good one. Maybe counter performance.
Yep. So counter performance, you have to do when you or one of your allies rolls a saving throw against a auditory or visual effect. So that's a reaction. You can do it even when it's not your turn.
Okay, I'll save that then.
Yeah.
I was going to do like an Inspire Courage back, but I don't know whether that's going to get anywhere.
Well, the Inspire Courage will give all of you essentially a +1 to attack rolls and damage rolls and saves against fear.
Yeah. I'm thinking, before I do any and I'm thinking, if I have spears on me, I'll probably try and draw the spear, and then I'm going to strike the cultist next to Matilda, the one who struck Boohard and is tied up by the
weasel.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a attack roll.
Is it the top strike or the bottom strike again?
The top strike, I believe.
Okay.
You do hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, how do you do?
So,
oh, yeah, it's like that.
Just the damage button. That's 3 points of damage, which is enough to kill him as you leap forwards and you strike at him and stab right through his back as he is turned towards the others and distracted by the weasel.
Serves you right for what he did to Boohart.
As that
well done,
cultist is and collapses to the ground. You have one action left still.
Does raising a shield take one action or two?
It takes one action.
Then I'll raise my shield then.
Okay, what shield do you have? Do you have a shield? Oh yeah, you have
a
power shield.
Yeah, a power shield.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because the tower shield is stored on your back, you will have to take it off of your back into your hand before you can raise it.
Okay, I'll do that now.
So you're able to essentially grab it and into your hand.
Yeah.
I'd say you could probably raise it with the same action as you grab it. I would allow that.
Mine says it's already held.
Oh yeah, I just pressed the hold button for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I was already on the screen. So yeah, I would allow you to raise it in the same action you use to grab it off. Just like you can grab a healing potion and drink it in the same action, going by our homebrew rules.
Yeah.
So you
I'll raise the shield.
Grab out your shield and raise it ready to defend against any further attacks.
Yeah.
Magna.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
What do you want to do?
What I want to do, I can't really do because you just did the Doctor Strange thing on him where he just multiplies. You watch too many films.
No, it is a spell. It's a spell that is in the
If it wasn't a spell, I'd be very upset because you're winging it again.
It's a spell that's in the game. It's a
I'm joking. I know it obviously is.
Marvel stole that from D&D and Pathfinder.
Of course they did. Right. My original plan goes to pot because of that, and my backup plan hurts the poor spider bot. So.
Spider-bot can be repaired.
Yes. Well, I wanna do let's have a look. How do I make? Can I do a test sort of thingy? I want to do a cone. Can I do a test?
Yeah, you can. You just make a cone template.
Where's the cone template? Nope. Off it.
Yeah, you can. You just make it like that. What, a 30-foot cone?
You say like that. I don't know what you did.
You just go to the button underneath the token controls, the measurement controls, and you have templates. You can make a cone template. So if you're looking to use it as fire breath.
Oh, that technically, well, it depends where you're doing it. See, see, I am gonna hit the spider bot, but I should miss Magna and Sasaki. No, stop it.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You'd hit the spider bot, and it would hit the side of the house, but the house is made of bricks and stuff, so the house.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned about the house, but this way I can guarantee hitting him.
Yeah, so you wanna use it as fire breath?
Act together.
Okay. How many actions do you use in act together?
Well, it's 2 actions.
Yeah. Okay, so you use 2 actions because you can
use
any.
2 actions.
No, act together can be any amount of actions.
Because it says on my thing. Where's it gone? I can't even find it now.
It can be any number of actions.
Oh yeah, it's on that screen. No, it's on. Yeah, because actually on your sorry, it's only 1 action. Let's see. Well,
so it just depends on what you're wanting to use. So if you want to use the breath weapon, it needs to be 2 actions.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you can use 1 action.
I'm gonna use the breath weapon for Ida.
And what are you gonna do?
Well, I want to do the breath weapon for Ida first.
Okay. Well, go ahead and put down use the breath weapon.
I would like to, but it's not letting me. How do I?
You just press the button, the little speech bubble button.
Oh, that one.
That lets you put down the cone.
Right, that's sent to chat. It's done.
Yeah, and then you can put the cone in from chat. And they have to make and you can angle the cone with shift on the thing, and then like that. And then you scroll. You hold
shift and it just changed.
Yeah, you hold shift over that icon at the end of the cone, and then just scroll the mouse wheel. So it uses a DC constitution modifier. So its con is 3, and just 2, so 4. So it'll be, they need to beat a 17 on a. So I need the spider bot to make a reflex save, and it needs to beat a 17.
Spider rolls reflex save and nat 17. Nat 17.
Okay, and
so 20 being total. Nice.
Wow.
So everyone passes, means everyone would take half damage. So go ahead and roll the damage. So just by clicking the thing.
Yeah.
So Spiderbot takes half damage as well as the others.
Okay, now from that, do I see just one of him wince, or do I see all 4 of him wince?
Now, that's the.
Yeah, now.
Let me check how it works. But I believe. It would hit. So the image is hidden because because it's a. So as it breathes out the fire bursts across. The rats appear particularly distressed by the fire cone blasting across them, and while the Piper himself easily is able to dodge out to the worst of the fire, all 3 of the illusions shatter and disappear as they are struck by the fire, leaving a single Piper.
So I get 1 action out of that, don't I?
You get 1 action.
Right, okay.
It's what you want to do with this 1 action that you get.
I'm going to do my shield.
Okay, so you cast shield on yourself.
Yes.
Which is a cantrip, isn't it? So, you, once again, you, just like many others this fight, summon this magical shield of force around yourself. You have 1 action left.
No, I don't. I have 2.
No.
Oh!
The 2 actions for act together, because you share actions with Adur, so you have 1 action left.
Oh, come on. I missed that. Can I recon that? Because I missed up that.
Nope.
Oh.
It did good. It did. Hey, the fire. It was a good.
No, about that doing good. I wasn't finished, but I was thinking he gets 2, I get 1, and I got 2 left. But no, I completely miscalculated that. I don't want shield. Oh well.
Well, I mean, you can change from doing shield. You just can't recon the entire act together.
Oh yeah, no.
So
I just want to recon the shield.
Okay. What would you like to do instead then?
Shield. I'm running up to him.
Okay.
And for my action.
For your final action.
For my action, I'm hitting him with. I'm spinning out my claw and striking him with my claw.
Okay, and a 15 will not hit. You strike with your claw and it glances just. Oh, I'm echoing someone's mic. Is that?
No. Mine on mute.
As you strike with your claw, it glances across the magical shield he's formed around himself and fails to strike him.
I'm going to hero point that.
Oh, okay. Normally you have to decide on a hero point before I tell you whether it misses or hits. That misses anyway. So,
yeah.
That's a hero point used.
Yep. Fine. I just wanted to make that count, but it didn't work.
So, the 1 cultist who was ordered by the Piper runs up and just blindly attacks Dave, even from within the field itself, the magical glowy pattern. So he has to make a roll. So, as he runs and he swings at Dave, the lights and the pattern dance right before his eyes, and his swing goes far wide as he covers his eyes to avoid being blinded. And his swing at Dave misses completely. He makes a 2nd strike. This time managing to avoid being blinded by the pattern, and does indeed successfully hit Dave. Let's see. Alright. And Dave takes 6 points of damage as he is struck by this dagger. The 2nd rat swarm, meanwhile, moves up to Idur and begins to swarm and bite at Idur. need Adur to make a reflex save.
It would be below resistances. What resistances on their character sheet? Yeah, on the side.
Yeah. Reflex, +6.
Resistances. What about it?
Well, ref.
Yeah.
You could have just said referee.
No. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so he does succeed. You slash Adur take 1 point of damage. Because you share health, so you take the damage, as you can feel the pain as Adur is bitten. So you take 1 point of damage, but he does succeed in avoiding the disease from the rats, from the swarming rats.
Good. Okay.
And back to the top of the round, as Tazaki, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Firebolt. So once again, attack at the rat.
Okay, you tell Spiderbot to attack the rats once again.
No.
That's not good. So, Spiderbot was making a melee... oh, it's technically an unarmed attack, right? Were you making a jaw attack?
Yeah.
That's technically... This is technically an unarmed attack for Spiderbot, as he doesn't use weapons.
Bang.
So, is he immune to sickened? To the sickened condition?
Yeah.
Is this... Okay. In which case, he just misses and nothing else happens. Otherwise, he would be sickened free, which is not good. As he attempts to bite and the rats just jump and swarm over him. And at this point, it is more like a Spiderbot covered in rats.
First Firebot's second action. I guess Firebot to change target and attack the Piper that is controlling the rats.
Make an attack roll.
This time, lifting their legs up to strike at them.
A 10 will not hit, as the Piper is very easily just steps out the way as Spiderbot is now being weighed down by the rats. As they swarm around him and making it very difficult for him to attack. You still have 2 actions.
The final 2 actions. The final 2 actions that he draws their gun.
You draw your gun? Mm-hmm.
And then point it right at the Piper and pulls the trigger.
Go ahead and make a strike with your pepper box. So you attempt to shoot the Piper, and he, still playing on the flute, just jumps back out of the way as the gunshot flies past, almost hitting Magna, as it flies off into the mist as the bullet just.
And hero pointing.
Okay, you gotta be fast on the hero points.
To be fair, he said he was hero pointing before you started.
You did?
Yes, he did.
That is then my. I did not hear you. It didn't travel through the mic. Go ahead and hero. Hero points then.
You better hit this one. Oh, come on!
That's even worse. So yeah, again, it just sings off into the mist.
Wow. That's it.
Meanwhile, everybody else up in the alley, you do all hear a distant gunshot. Dave decides, well, what else is Dave going to do? Dave strikes at the man in front of him. And he'd probably use one of his hero points. To make reroll using a hero point. Wow, the hero point's not working out well for people at the moment. Dave. Okay. As Dave punches and his fist goes completely wide. He does attempt to make a second strike at his enemy, and this time it manages to hit, dealing 11 points of damage to his enemy in front as he strikes and begins just pummeling into the man before him. He, with his final action, he attempts to grab the guy and essentially grapple him. He makes an athletics check. Minus 10, so it'll be a 16. So it's counts as attack against the reflex save. So as he attempts to grab and grapple the guy, the cultist is able to push himself out of reach and avoids getting grabbed. Geomin, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I wanna attack the guy.
The one right in front of you.
No, the guy behind me. Yes, the guy in front of me.
You pedantic person, you've been out with me too long.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll.
Okay.
Do you wish to use something like magic weapon beforehand to buff your weapon?
Yes.
Yeah? Magic weapon would take 2 actions, means you have 1 action left to attack if you wish to do that. But it will... Okay, yeah, okay. So, you casting it on your weapon, I'd assume?
Yeah.
Okay. So, go ahead and make the attack roll. As you summon up this divine energy and your sword begins to glow with divine magic.
I rolled a 13.
Okay, and your sword has a +6, so that makes it a 19 total, which does hit. So you can go ahead and roll the damage, and the damage for your sword is 2d6 plus 1.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll 2d6s.
2d6s. Okay. 2 and a 6.
That's 8, so that's 9.
9.
Okay, as you stab forwards with this magical weapon of yours, and do indeed...
Were those dice rolls taken in consideration the magic thing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Magic.
right.
So, as you do indeed manage to strike in straight forwards and cut pretty badly into your opponent.
Okay.
Well done, Joey.
And with your weapon now glowing with magical energy. Is a very bad day for evil.
Or at least for that one.
Meanwhile, the rat swarm moves its attack and begins to swarm around Magna and the spider bot. as they swarm around you two, just passing by the Piper, swarming around the three of you, but leaving the Piper alone as they begin to bite at both Magna and the Spider-Bot. I need a reflex save from both Magna and the Spider-Bot, please.
25 the Spider-Bot. 14 from Magna.
Okay.
I'm not looking at that because I'll get probably 13.
Spider-Bot takes 1 point of damage, Magna takes 2, and Magna, you... as they bite into you, they begin swarming and biting and scraping at you, and some of your sort of artificial blood spills out, and they begin, like, some of the rats try to burrow in between your gears and begin to try and climb up and swarm over you, and it is very much not pleasant.
Of course, it's not pleasant. I've seen Bone Collector.
Meanwhile, the cultist that was attacked by Jomin appears to take that very personally. And he will use Frenzy, and he strikes at you. As you see, as you've struck at him, the cultist rips off his mask and glares at you, and as he throws the mask aside, it shatters, and he screams with rage as he lunges forwards at you, Jomin, attempting to strike you. Does a 14 hit you?
No.
Nope.
No, it
He's got armor class of 17. As he strikes once and fails, attempts to strike a second time with his dagger, slashing at you in a pure blind rage, but failing to hit. Boo-hurt, it is your turn. What do you want to do?
I will attack a cultist. However, I'm stuck on seeing the city.
Oh?
It's showing me the wrong map.
Okay, hold on, I can pull you in.
There you go.
Yeah, it's important to see because you're going to be attacking someone who's like 10 feet away from you.
Yes. Also, I can't see where like Magna and Tazaki are and the rest ones.
Character, you should be able to see it.
They've got their own. They've got their own little section of the map. I was able to put 2 maps into one just by. They are literally on the other side of the wall that you have right behind you.
Sword, you'll be able to see it.
Oh no, Sword won't be able to see you. Even
How
then.
come you see the other side?
For the most of the fight, I've been able to see.
Yeah. That's how I was able to see the other side.
Oh.
Trevor showed me how by unselecting.
If you unselect, then you should probably be able to see it. Yeah.
Ah.
I think because
Okay.
you're all observers on each other's characters.
Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to attack the. I'm assuming I can step over a dead body.
Yeah.
Yes, you can step over a dead body, and now that the guy is dead, the weasel is just off to the side. You can step into the weasel space without penalty because it's a tiny creature.
Yeah, I will be very careful to not stand on the weasel. But I'm gonna step over the weasel and run up to the cultist that's closest. But I'm gonna run up so that I'm behind them.
Okay, so you are to get sort of between the cultist and the box here, I would need you to make me a acrobatics check to get past, because there's a box in between in there. You'd have to sort of squeeze past the cultist and the box.
Well, to be fair, the cultist is probably not 5 foot wide.
No, but neither is he standing directly in the center of the fin.
So Buhurt could go round either way, technically.
Okay. So,
Okay. Oh, you're getting worse than that.
Oh, yeah.
so essentially, this means that you're
You can reroll
unable
it.
to move past the box. So, unless you want to use a hero point to reroll, your movement would just end by here.
Yeah.
I will re-roll because it's worth it.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Okay.
Yep,
That's what
that's fine enough. So you are able to get past the box and to the other side of the cultist. Meaning he is now flanked.
Excellent. And I will now
you Magna. What is
deliver
that?
power
Yeah.
strike. Another power attack.
Go ahead, make a power attack. Ooh.
Ah,
You only have
Today
one
is
hero
not.
point left. Is it worth it?
probably not. Today is not my lucky day.
Today is not anyone's lucky day by the looks of it.
Apart from the bad guys.
As you jump round the side and you try to strike, and the cultist very quickly dodges to the side away from your blade, looking back and forth between you, Dave, Zafra, and Matilda and Jomin, seeing that he's starting to get a little bit surrounded. That is the end of your turn, because that's all your actions, but Zafra is next to act. And... Zafra simply draws a sickle from beneath her cloak and strikes at the cultist in front of her. And hits with a 23, dealing 4 points of damage as she leaps forward and strikes, sinking the sickle into the back of the cultist's shoulder as he spins to face you. She then makes a second attack, this time reaching around with her clawed fingers, with these, where you can now see as she reaches her pawed hand around, you can see her ends, similar, they are like cat's paws. They have claws in them, but you can see that her claws are appear to be longer and sharper than you'd expect. There's something unnatural about them, and as she reaches forwards around the guy's neck, as she sinks the sickle into one of his shoulder, reaches forwards around his neck, and as she jerks her hand back, she drags these clawed nails directly across his throat, leaving several channels in his throat from which blood just spurts out, gushes. Some of it strikes you, Buhurt, and he just, choking on blood, collapses to the ground. And that is her turn. Midnight will climbs up on top of a box and just doesn't do. Yeah. So Midnight climbs up the box and onto Zafra's shoulder once again, and as he does so, he sort of snuggles up to her, to the wound in her, at the back of her shoulder, which happened from saving Buhurt, and he begins to glow, ever so slightly, and you see as she turns slightly, the wound in her shoulder begins to seal shut and heal. The blood pooling out from her shoulder stops, and she appears to be better. This guy is dead, and everybody has lost their inspired courage now. The Piper facing the main group raises her hand Well, she plays into the flute and then raises it above her head and points it forwards at Boohurt. And as she points at you, Boohurt, she shouts at you. She shouts, "Strike the barbarian!" And I need you to make me a will save.
Are we doing something?
Yeah, Boohurt needs to.
Who's making
Boohurt needs to make a
save?
will save.
Oh,
All I heard was complete silence for the past minute.
Oh, really?
I
Everyone
think
else
my
heard
Wi-Fi
it.
was cutting out.
Ah. Well, the Piper has pointed her flute at you and told you to strike the barbarian. And you need to make a will save.
Telling Boohurt.
Which one's the barbarian?
That is also a valid response if Boohurt would actually not really know who that is. But make a will save anyway.
Where's the... I see it.
Wow. Now that's how to critically succeed when you need to.
Nice.
You can feel her magic attempting to cloud your mind, but you aren't fazed by it at all. You easily shrug it off. You're like, what? No, he's your friend. And you are completely unaffected by her magic.
Boohurt is so stupid he doesn't know who the cultist means.
Or that, yeah. Does Boohurt want to respond?
Yes, just which one's the barbarian? Ah, never mind. I'll hit you.
She seems rather displeased. And with her final action, she looks straight at Dave and she begins to chant and gestures with her flute, and her sword begins to glow ever so slightly. And that is the end of her turn. Meanwhile, the other Piper, after now that his shield has run out, first he will move as he ducks away and moves up a bit, and he plays on his flute, and as he plays, you see sparks gather within the fog cloud behind him and gather behind him. He raises the flute away from his mouth as the music itself evenly continues. And I would like both of you to make me perception checks as he does this. As he raises it up, and the lightning from the fog cloud behind him strikes the flute before he swings it down and blasts it forwards. In a line. So Magna gets a 20 on the perception check, and Tazaki gets an 18. You both realize that the flute music that's still continued playing, like his flute music, it's bouncing around all over you evenly, and it was very much the same tune, but it's now that he's stopped playing, you can realize there's an ever so slight difference to it, and you realize that his flute music was merely covering another flute that is currently playing from inside the house. There is someone else inside the house that you guys are outside playing this music as well as this guy. As you come to realize this, from this man, a bolt of lightning blasts from the flute. I need Spiderbot, Magna, and Adur to make reflex saves. The rats also must make a save because they are in the way.
Oh, my last hero point, I'd be rolling that as rubbish. What did Spiderbot get? 13.
So,
Oh, come on, bit!
that's... Oh dear.
You can do that.
Okay.
Adur's fine.
So Adur gets a 22, Magna gets an 8, Spiderbot gets a 15. So the DC was that. Okay, the DC was a 19, so everyone has failed.
Adur didn't, thank you very much.
Except for Adur, actually, yeah, except for Adur. So,
Right.
the damage is going to be a bit spread out as Magna has critically failed.
Wait, does that mean the rats also failed?
Yes,
Both sets of
they
rats?
did. Yes, both sets of rats did also fail.
Such a piper, ain't they?
Yeah.
Killing their own friends.
They did this to you. Get them. Okay, how much damage am I taking?
Okay, so Spiderbot takes... did Spiderbot succeed or fail?
Failed.
Spiderbot takes 30 points of damage.
That makes 30.
Yep.
3-0.
Okay, go on. And
The rats...
that one
So
failed.
both groups of rats are incinerated. Adur would take 15 and Magna would take 60, I think.
60.
It would be double if you critically fail, wouldn't it? Yeah. So essentially, Magna, you are blasted backwards and down.
So I only had 25, so I'm 50 below. You gotta be kidding me.
I do not
Please
know
tell me
how.
Magna doesn't die again.
I do not
How-
know how instant death or anything works, but
How
you,
the
for the
hell are we
purposes of,
this low level against something that powerful?
I did not real. I'll be honest, I didn't realize quite how big that spell was, how damaging that spell
No.
was.
So,
That is my fault.
yeah, of course it's your fault. Magnus
That's
toast
why.
between
That's why you're not really dead yet. You're not dead. You are just down.
It's a bit late for that. Wait, you moved me.
Oh yeah, you've basically been blasted backwards and onto the floor. So you are currently down.
Will that make it the direction of the black, not sideways?
And Adur has disappeared. Tazaki, you are the only one standing there, and as the lightning fades away, the Piper turns towards you and points down toward. You can see your Spiderbot is in pieces. Magna is lying down on the ground, and the Piper speaks.
In pieces.
It's not too late for you to save your friend. You have a choice now, little one. Wow, no. You have a choice. You can either save your friend, or you can stop us. Go to him and revive him. We do not care, but do not meddle anymore. If you go to him, you can save him. But if you step foot into that house, your friend will die. So make your choice.
all this monologue, surely Sasaki could have ran up there, slit his throat, saved me, and gone into the house by now.
This is what he says at the very end of his turn. Because he did.
Yeah, and it took about 3 turns to say it.
It did not.
If one turn is like a few seconds, that took him like
One turn is about 10 seconds.
Yeah, that took him like 2 full rounds.
Part of that was me stuttering on it. Matilda.
Matilda's going to determine against the cultist and strikes again.
Okay. The only standing cultist that's near you, I'd assume.
Yeah, the one next to examine.
Okay, go ahead and make a attack roll.
Oh.
Do you want a hero point?
I might as well, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and re-roll then. Okay, that does hit, so go ahead and roll damage as you spin forward and you strike at him between the gentleman and the building, dealing 7 points of damage as you do successfully stab him, and he appears pretty badly injured by your attack. You have another action. Well, you have another 2 actions.
Would I get another multi-attack? Would I get a multi-attack penalty if I did another attack on him?
You will, yes. You also have your bard spells as well, which can be pretty useful. Things like phase bolt, biting words, so on and so forth. Even command you do have.
Yeah. I'm going to phase bolt.
Pardon?
I'm quite tempted to do the phase bolt one.
Yep, you can do if you want.
Oh. Yeah, I'll do phase bolt.
Okay. So go ahead and make the attack. It would have a multi-attack penalty, I will say. But your attacks with your spells are, I'm pretty sure, higher than your attacks. With just a bit higher than your attacks with without. So it's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be -7. No, -5 from there.
So that would make 12.
Yeah, it would be a 12. Who are you targeting? The same one?
The same one.
Yeah, so you fire off the phase bolt, but it unfortunately does miss.
I think that's my last go, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's 2 actions for phase bolt. So that is Magna. I need you to make me a the roll, which is just a roll of d20. Okay, so that is a fail. You are dying too now.
Yeah, that's right.
You're gonna need some help. Meanwhile, the cultist attacking Dave makes a strike and gets a critical fail. So, is that a success or doesn't say what the DC is? I'm assuming that's an 18 is a success. So he got a critical fail. He doesn't lose his weapon. He attempts to strike again. And a 17 does not hit, as he keeps trying to strike at Dave but missing, and instead takes a step down and turns his attention towards Boohurt, while still keeping an eye on Dave. Tazaki, it's your turn. Magna is currently dying. The rats are dead, your spider bot is broken, and the Piper is just standing there smiling. He doesn't appear to be in an aggressive stance anymore. He's just awaiting your move, what you want to do. Magna is down and very badly hurt.
How could you? Tazaki says to the Piper, how dare you do this?
We do what we must for the Lord.
Hey, it's not his go. He can keep his mouth
He
shut.
can respond. He can respond to someone talking.
Magnum goes and runs up to Magna. That would be one. Wait.
Okay, yeah, you run up to Magna for one action. What do you want to do?
It's nothing I can do.
Do you even heal?
I don't think I have enough healing stuff.
You enough? No, then don't worry about me. Just get in there and deal with it. Deal with them first.
Tazaki then looks around his stuff and notices he doesn't have anything that could do.
Oh, dear, you didn't come after us unprepared, did you?
I can turn to
Now
the door
now-
and to ram it.
You know I could give you something to heal him if I was so
He's
inclined.
ramming the door.
You want
He's
to ram
ramming
the
the
door?
door.
You want to ram the
Yeah.
door? Okay, go ahead and make a strength check. Well, actually, are you just trying to what? Just run and burst through the door?
Or you're gonna try and open it first? Because that all was one movement there. That was all one movement, 25 foot.
Yeah,
So you
running up to Magna, realizing you don't have anything, then running to the door. I don't know how to be one movement.
Of course you can. They were
Yeah.
25 feet.
Well, because there would have been a bit of a pause between the moving up to Magna and then realizing, but
I don't see anything in the manual about pausing affecting it.
you haven't read the manual.
I'm not even sure, entirely sure you have, by the looks of things.
I have read some of the manual.
Some. Yep, that says it all.
I have read through based all of the rules on Archives and FS. So, well, Tazaki, do you want to try and open the door? You want to kick the door down? Are you going to just burst through? What are you trying to do?
He's trying to tell you.
I tried to open the door first.
Okay. You reach for the door handle and attempt to open it. And the door is locked. No, it should be locked.
It don't look like.
The door is indeed locked.
Zaki turns to look at him, at the Piper. I heard you said you could give me something to help him.
Yes, I could.
Would you though?
I would, yes. My job is to stop you from interfering. I do not care whether you or your friend live or die, as long as you stay out of our way. Do you not believe me?
Zaki looking very conflicted. Yes, what do I go into the head?
You do not need to worry yourself with what we are doing. Worry about your friend. And you can see the shape of a healing potion appears, floating above his hand. Take it.
Yeah, healing potions have a very specific shape.
Go on.
Yeah, clearly. Healing potions obviously have a very clear, defined shape.
With a red cross.
There is indeed a what's the word? Healing potions have to be made. There is indeed regulations on what healing potions have to look like. Go on, take it. You could save him.
This conversation's taken about 10 rounds.
You gotta do something, Sasaki. You can't keep talking. You can't say anything more to him. You have to choose something. What are you gonna do? You've got 2 actions.
Deal.
You walk up to him, and you are take the healing potion.
Yeah.
Okay, you walk up, you grab the healing potion. That is your turn.
I mean, that's his turn.
Because
Yeah.
that's another 2 actions.
Taking the potion is action.
Yeah. Dave, meanwhile, is once again punching as he strikes at the guy who has been stabbing at him. And misses. Strikes again. And misses again. Poor Dave. I don't really know what else Dave can do other than a 3rd attempt. Not that it's going to be very likely. So Dave is trying to strike. That 3rd attack is a critical fail. Not that that'll probably do much to him. But Dave is trying to strike and attempting to hit the guy as the guy is dodging around. He does become Dave is now fatigued. Well, that makes it Jomin's turn.
You still got your magical sword in your hand.
Yep, you do still have your magical sword. And there's a guy alive in front of you, and the other guy's further up.
I'll attack the guy again.
Okay, go ahead, make a attack roll. So,
okay.
go ahead and roll. You've got a +6.
What does the magical part give her?
It gives a +1 and an extra damage die.
That's the damage is only 1 die, otherwise, is it?
Yep. So go ahead and roll and tell me what you get.
I rolled a 13.
13
Okay,
plus 6,
20.
so that hits.
No,
So go
plus
ahead.
7, +1.
No, the +1 is included in the +6.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead
So
and roll
now-
2d6s for damage.
2 and a 3.
Okay, so that's 5, 6 damage in total, which is indeed enough to kill him. As you stab forwards with your holy weapon and strike the guy after you've been stabbed with the spear, and sever his head.
Well done, German!
You have 2 actions left as well, Jomin, which you could, for example, use to heal or cast a spell or whatever you want. What would you like to do?
You said what were the options again?
Well, you've got a lot of spells, like your healing spells and divine lance. So you could heal someone, or including yourself, because you are injured. It was Boo hurt. Boo hurt's also pretty badly injured.
I want to. Can I heal 2 people at once?
If you used 2 one action for each heal spell, but you'd only be able to heal yourself and Matilda. Or if you use 2 actions, you could heal Boo hurt. Or if you use 3 actions, you can heal.
You can't use 3. You used 1 action.
Oh yeah, you used 1 action, so you won't be able to use 3, and that would heal the cultists anyway, which you wouldn't want.
Yeah. Why would you?
I didn't know what the range was. So you could use 2 actions to heal Boo hurt, or 1 action each to heal yourself and Matilda.
Boo hurt being up near the enemies, he could probably do with it.
Boo hurt is very badly injured. He has been on 1 HP the entire fight.
I'm fine.
I can heal Boo hurt.
Yeah, would you like to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, in which case, go ahead and as you heal, go ahead and roll 1d8.
D8. D8.
As you look over Boo hurt, and the glowing energy flies from you to him to patch up his wounds. Tell me what you get.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, so Boo hurt, you recover 9 HP. It's an extra 8 for the 2 action version, so...
Don't suppose Boo hurt classes as a living creature?
Yeah, he is a living creature.
Then increase the hit points restored by 8.
I did.
Are you there? He's a living... What would you heal other than a living creature then?
Nothing. But if you target undead, then you injure them with it.
Right, but you wouldn't obviously add them because they're not a living creature.
They'd take the
Okay,
extra.
I'm healing from 9, right?
9 points of that of healing, yes.
Well then, Joey.
I'm slightly less likely to drop dead.
Yep.
Mm.
The
You were always less likely to drop dead than Magna anyway.
rat swarm is dead, and this particular cultist is also dead, which makes it Boo hurt's turn. As the enemies are slowly but surely falling.
Since there's already an enemy right in front of me, I'm going to attack.
Okay. So go ahead and make the roll, and it's a 20 to hit, which will hit. Are you attacking with 1 hand, or you? Oh yeah, you've got your shield in 1 hand, haven't you, sir?
Yes, so one-handed attack.
Okay,
I'm assuming that hits.
that does indeed hit. So go ahead and roll damage. And how much damage did you roll?
12.
12 damage. Towards the guy in front. How do you want to kill him?
Just decapitation.
Okay, you just swing and whoosh, his head just comes clean off and he just drops to the ground. You have 2 actions left.
Yes, Boohard.
Well done.
Can I move into the magic thing without getting affected by it?
If you move into it, I believe it does. Let me check. I believe it affects you if you move into it. Hypnotic pattern. When you enter the pattern, you'd have to make the save. And while inside the pattern, you would be dazzled, which makes it harder to hit things. However, looking at the spell, the pattern should fade if Zafra doesn't concentrate on it. So Zafra can then choose to end the pattern.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I can drop my sword for a free action, can't I?
Yes.
Draw my javelin and throw my javelin.
Yes, you can do that. Yes.
Mm.
So you drop your sword, you draw the javelin, and you throw the javelin. Go ahead, make an attack with the javelin with the multi-attack penalty.
And it's only the first one, isn't it? So
Don't actually
-5
press
to
the drop
attack.
button on your sword, though, because then it'll disappear. Just sheath it.
Yep.
So a 14 to hit. Unfortunately, does not hit. As you throw the javelin, the woman at the end of the piper dodges to the side. The javelin flies past her and disappears as it reaches the end of the alley. Only to reappear, flying out of the wall just behind Jomin and Matilda, almost hitting the two of them as it and lands about there-ish.
Huh? How did that work?
There's no escape. You will die in this alley.
It seems that you're the ones who have been doing the dying, who gestures to the nice line of dead cultists.
Why is Bailey Mills in the thingy? And she's gone.
Would you believe it? Would you believe an accident?
And yeah, of course I would. It's you.
So you have. Yep, that's your turn, isn't it?
Yep, I can't do any more actions.
So, meanwhile, as I just need to do that. So, as you are there, Tazaki, attempting to, as you've grabbed the potion from the guy, all of a sudden, something weird happens.
Isn't it Zafra's turn?
No. A arrow flies, seemingly from above, striking the piper in the shoulder.
Right, that's why you put Bailey Mills in there.
An arrow, as the arrow flies down, it strikes the piper in the shoulder. He is shocked and confused. As you look, you see Bailey Mills dropping from a rooftop. She drops down from a rooftop, landing behind Magna. But the bow in one of her hands, and as she drops by Magna, she pulls a bottle filled with red liquid from the back of her pack, and quickly pours it into Magna's robotic mouth.
You know, you really don't need to do sort of sporadic. Oh, I'm going to save you now because I messed up. You could just let it die.
This isn't sporadic. I planned for her to pop in and help if I accidentally unbalanced.
Right.
This is how it works. If something is not balanced well and it's not fair, then it gets made fair. Because I'll admit I didn't check the strength on this guy, and it's unfair to face someone that strong at such a low level. Magna, you receive 20 hit points. As you do wake up, lying on the floor. So you're no longer dying, but you are once again wounded. Plus, it also makes sense that she'd be checking in and making sure you guys are okay.
Right, if you say so.
Being a friend of group members.
So how did she get past the thick fog that's cornered us all the way around?
She was on.
She went over it. Yeah, you say the fog didn't go all the way up.
I did. Yeah, the fog doesn't go all the way up. It covers the ground level where people would walk.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's carry on.
Zafra's turn, and she runs up with the weasel on her shoulder, and the cloud of the hypnotic pattern does dissipate as she moves up, and she casts a phase bolt at the Piper. But fails to hit as she blasts this bolt of energy at the Piper. Again, the Piper dodges it and it disappears through the portal, reappearing at the back and poofing out of existence. Midnight, well, the weasel doesn't do anything this round as it just sits on her shoulder. The Piper, meanwhile, did she forget to... Oh, she forgot to actually use her True Strike when she had it. She wasted that spell. Piper, she points at you, Boohurt, and she plays notes on the flute and swings it in your direction, and your shield begins to shake with vibrations. What is the HP and the hardness on your shield? The hardness is 5, I see. So you feel your shield shaking with these with vibrations, but then it dies down, and she appears to be unsatisfied with that, and instead she smiles and steps backwards, and as she does so, she disappears from the spot that she was in and reappears, stepping out to the wall next to Jomin and Matilda. Meanwhile, the other Piper, seeing what has happened, and the arrival of Bailey, yeah, there's that. He casts his flute in a wide arc and creates, as he does so, in between all of you, a sudden what looks like spider web bursts out from an area where around Magna and Mills. Or actually, oh, that there doesn't get anyone. So yeah, around Magna and Mills, a burst of what looks like spider web appears, and I need you to make a reflex saving throw, Magna.
And Mills.
And Mills, yes. So you got a 17, which is a fail. Mills did succeed. So fail. So Magna, and until the start next turn, each square can be cleared of web. Okay, you gotta make a save. Right, at the start of any turn while you're in this area, you'll have to either make an athletics check or that save. And failing will essentially slow you down or immobilize you. Matilda, it is your turn.
Ah, there you go. It wouldn't let me unmute. But Matilda tries to strike the Piper.
Yep, you go ahead and make an attack roll.
Bear with. That wouldn't have done it, would it?
17. That does not hit, unfortunately. As you attempt to strike at her, but she bats your spear aside with her rapier.
And who's the worst injured out of Dave, Boo Hurt, and Drummond?
Pardon?
Who's the worst injured out of Dave, Boo Hurt, and Drummond?
Boo Hurt.
In that case, I'll probably do my healing him on Boo Hurt.
Okay, go ahead and cast your...
I don't need healing, focus on killing.
Well, if I attack now, I'll get a multi-attack penalty, won't I?
You can go ahead and cast your Hymn of Healing. So, let's see. When you cast a spell, Boo Hurt, you gain 2 temporary hit points. And you gain fast healing 2. So, at the start of every of each of your turns, you regain 2 hit points essentially. And you have 2 temporary HP.
Is that like my 3 goes, or do I get another go?
That's your 3 actions, yeah, because Hymn of Healing is 2 actions.
Okay, cool.
So that is your 3
Oh,
actions.
by the way, my battery on my laptop says 10 minutes, so I might have to go and get a charger in a minute.
Okay. Magna, it is your
So
turn.
I need to do a reflex, do I, to get out of this?
Yes, or a athletics check.
Reflex is a bigger plus, so... Oh,
Okay, so you just have minus 10 to your movement. So it's not
That's
super
fine.
bad. So
It's
your
15.
movement is reduced by is 15. You have to use an action to get up from prone.
yeah.
And
Actually,
then-
get up, move to there.
Yep.
Third action, I'm going to carry on and barge through the door, full force.
Okay. So you go ahead and make a strength check. To see if you can get through.
I wonder if I could see it. I see strength on the main sheet, but nothing I can click.
Yeah, you just click on the. Oh, can you not? Oh, right, you can.
Nothing I can
Make a athletics check. Then. A 9. So as you try to break in the door, it groans under the weight, but it doesn't break yet.
I'm a 6-foot robot. Just put all his force into the door, into a wooden door, I would assume. But okay, the roll is a roll. That's my actions.
Okay, in which case it is neither of these guys because they're dead. So, Tazaki, you are up.
Look like my little friend's got some help, huh?
I'll just have to kill you all again.
So he voluntarily gave Tazaki a health potion for me, but because someone else healed me, I'm gonna have to kill you all again.
Well, because you're now in the way.
In the way? I'm not in the way. I'm nowhere near
You're
it.
trying to get into the house.
Tazaki goes ahead and springs up their fist, ready to punch him. Square in the face.
Okay, you're just making an unarmed strike at him? Okay. Okay, 17. That does not hit, unfortunately. You try to punch him in the face, and he steps back and avoids the punch. It was pretty obvious what you were gonna do.
What do you do? Lock out?
Well, that didn't work out how I hoped it would. Well, always have a backup plan. Bring out my gun and pull a trigger while it's facing at him.
Okay.
Pulled it when it was facing him and not facing you.
13. So, as you pull the gun and attempt to fire, he sort of knocks your gun arm aside, and instead you fire into the side of the house. And that's 2 or 3 of your actions.
That was 2 of my actions.
So
Which
you
of course
have 1 action left, because you already had your gun out.
Titanium shell. It misses.
So you have 1 action left. What do you want to do? You could, for example, command your spider bot or something else.
How can you
Command my
Oh
spider.
no, your spider bot's destroyed, isn't it?
Spider bot! Fight
Spider-
him!
You leg!
Spider
Look at
bot's
it!
broken.
You leg! Come over there! You eyeball!
I
Dance
forgot
the
that. I forgot the spider bot was broken.
Hey, spider bot! Even though you're broken,
Even though you're in
fight
bits,
him!
You can.
spider bot,
You could, if
assemble!
you might, use overdrive for your final, which would give your next future attacks additional damage. For example, if you went into overdrive. What do you want to do? You also have a shield, so you could raise your shield.
That'd
Protect
probably be a
yourself.
good idea.
Yeah, you want to raise your shield to protect yourself?
I raise my shield.
Okay. Dave, meanwhile, well, I think it's fairly obvious after seeing that. Dave runs upwards towards the end of the alley where the lady stepped back into and comes up through the invisible door right behind her and attempts to punch her in the back of the face. In the back of the face. And his first attack misses, but his second attack does hit, I believe. Yes, his second attack does hit. As Dave begins striking her from behind and deals 9 points of damage to her. That is Dave's turn, and Jomin, it is your turn.
I would like to. Well, actually, where am I right
Let me
now?
get you back to the map a second.
So, the Piper is directly behind you, between you and Dave.
I'll swing at him with a short sword.
Yep, want to swing at her? Okay, go ahead and make an attack.
Okay, give me a second. $17.
That, let's see, because she is flanked, that actually does hit. Oh, and well, it'll be +6 for your fin as well. So, yeah, that definitely hits. So go ahead, roll the 2d6 damage.
3, 1.
3, 4, so that's 5 damage total as you slash at her with your sword and do manage to injure her. That's one action.
When it comes to the other actions, do I attack again, or?
You can if you want to. You also have other things you can do, such as protection, or things like Divine Lance.
What is Divine Lance again?
Magic attack, and they take damage equal to 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which for you would be 1d4 plus 4.
Aren't I still healing someone at the moment?
Pardon?
Wasn't I am I still healing anyone?
You healed Boohurt. While he's still injured, and everybody is still a bit injured, Boohurt is no longer as badly injured as he was before. So you could do more healing if you wanted to. There's plenty of things you could do.
Can I heal it? Well, actually, I don't know if that's possible, but if I could heal Dave while I attack the lady again.
You have to use 2 actions to heal Dave because it's because he's at range.
Oh. It's risky. I'll do the 2 actions and heal him.
Okay, so go ahead and roll 1d8.
An 8.
8? Wow. So 8 plus 8 is 16. So Dave heals for 16 hit points. That's a lot of healing. And that is your turn. Boohurt. It is your turn. And you can see the Piper is beginning to look worried. And she begins sort of glancing up past you at the end of the alley. Starting to look a bit scared now. What do you want to do, Boohurt?
I heard none of that.
You can see the Piper is beginning to look worried. about her situation.
I'm not going to be able to get behind the pipe at the flank, am I? Unless I go through the wall, which is a bit weird.
But you can get down to where sort of everyone else is down there, where she is beginning to be surrounded.
Yep. No, but I don't have my sword, do I? So I need to pick up my sword as I go.
You would need to pick up your sword, yes. Which would be one action to pick it up, one action to move down.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. So that's two actions used. Now, do I attempt to reason with her so we can take her alive, or do I just try and kill her?
That's up to you. What do you want to do?
I choose death.
Go ahead and make an attack then. A 24 will hit her, so go ahead and roll damage.
Excellent.
16 points of damage. As you slash at her, you carve a gash across her back and her shoulder. The blood splatters off, going through the invisible door and splattering out the other side of the alley. And she cries out in pain. And as she does so, the flute drops from her hand, falling to the floor. As she stumbles, barely still alive, but very, very badly hurt. As she can now see she is in a very bad position. And that's your turn. Mills has to make a reflex save. For the web. And she succeeds. Mills moves up to Magna by the door. And as she moves up to you, Magna, she pulls some thieves' tools out of her bag and says, "Let me try." As she moves up to the lock of the door and begins very quickly fiddling with the lock with some lock picks until the door clicks and opens. Okay, you can go. And that is her turn. And Zafra I know for a fact that Zafra could kill her, but should she? But Zafra first walks up towards you guys, and speaks out. Okay, do you want her alive or dead? Does anyone respond to her?
A Schrodinger's cat.
Does anybody wish to respond there?
Kill her. If we leave her alive, she'll only cause more harm.
Okay then. She holds out her... She holds out her hand.
And we get the flute.
You'll have that flute and her head. She holds out her hand and speaks a single arcane word. As, let's see, since it's the second... that's a +2. So, 2 2 darts of force fly out of her hand as she casts magic missile. 2 darts of arcane energy burst out of her hand, spinning around each other, and blast into the Piper's chest. The Piper takes a sharp breath in as the bolts hit her, and slowly falls backwards. As she falls backwards, you see a shimmer at the wall in the ends of the alleyway, and she falls into the wall and slumps to the ground.
This woman's so strong, why the smeg is her child still missing?
This isn't the woman whose child is missing.
Who the hell is this then?
This is the potion shop person.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The one who was missing was the double agent. Yeah.
Okay.
The one who just bit the dust.
Well, that takes care of that then. And as the door down there is burst open, the Piper down with Magna and Tazaki sees the door open, sees you about to go in, and he will what would he do? He would casts a ray of frost at Magna.
He's got Tazaki right in his face,
Actually,
in
he
his
does.
way.
So you
So,
cast it at Tazaki instead. So,
Logical.
Tazaki, does the 22 hit you?
Alright, so 89 killed me.
I believe it does.
Yeah.
19, 20, yeah, your AC is currently 21, so it just hits you. As he blasts a ray of frost at you and your shield. You take 5 points of damage, as the ray, he manages to aim past your shield and blasts you with it, and blasts your legs with this ray. You feel the cold take you. You have a minus 10-foot penalty to your speed for 1 round. And he then, after blasting you, but seeing that he is badly outnumbered and you've already got access to the house, after blasting you, he turns and runs into the mist.
Into the solid mist.
And then, as he runs into the mist and does indeed pass through it himself. As he begins to run. Meanwhile, everyone else, you all heard the gunshots. Matilda, it is your turn.
I keep forgetting it's on mute. Matilda wants to figure out how to get through the mist.
So you can't see the mist.
You're 10 minutes away. It's a bit useless to say.
It's 1 minute away.
Oh, wait a minute. It's a bit silly saying your turn, because it's not like they can do much at the moment other than as a group head.
Other than heading that way or healing each other up there.
We could head over that way then towards top route.
If you want to start moving down, you can. It'll take you guys a little bit of time to get down.
Yeah, a minute. 10 rounds.
So if you want
do I just heal someone?
Pardon?
It's just worth me healing a couple of people.
You guys might as well just heal up back there. It's going to be 6 rounds before you get there, and we're all dead by then anyway.
Alright, so if I heal up, who hurt again?
Yeah, Yeah, so you can use an action to sustain the spell, which... Yeah, because of Boo Hurt's
I'll
fast healing,
sustain
you
the
don't get
action
it
as
to.
Boo Hurt. And then, can I use the action on Jomin?
You've only got one focus point, so you won't be able to use Hymn of Healing on anyone else. Because
Okay.
you've already used the focus point. You do have a healing
So
potion.
I sustain Boo Hurt healing, and I give Jomin my healing potion.
Okay, so Jomin, you get given a healing potion by Matilda, so just hands it to you. Magna, what are you doing?
Going inside.
Okay, and Tazaki, are you planning to give chase to the guy, or are you planning to go into the house as well? Because otherwise we can exit, and we can probably exit the initiative at this point.
Go after him. Yeah, they do.
So, are you wanting to go after him?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you so we're going for Magna. As you enter the house, you can hear the pipe music appears to be coming from upstairs.
Right, and where's the
From
stairs?
above. You cannot see the stairs as you first enter the room. Actually, yeah, you can't see the stairs, but you make me a perception check as you enter the house.
Okay, let me go back. Only 5 movement used to there then.
Okay, you can hear that the sounds coming from upstairs. Appears to be sort of more this direction.
Okay, that's 5, 10, 15, 20.
As you begin running upstairs,
5.
and with 2 actions, you can easily get up to one action
Yeah,
to get
I know
to
that. That
2
was an
actions.
action. 5, 10.
Yeah. So as you run up the stairs, you get to an upper landing where you can see as you get up to the upper landing, you can see the sight before you, a man that you recognize, the man from the jewelry store in the market, dressed in a quite colourful coat, a long coat with a few colourful patches in it, and a hat, a sort of bard's hat with a feather in the brim, and the same 8-pointed star emblazoned upon it, standing in the middle of the hallway playing the flute. At the one end of the hallway, you can see a woman, a human woman who is appears to be frozen in place. You can see energy surrounding her and restricting her movement, as a kid is standing in the doorway of what looks to be a child's bedroom, and is starting to walk towards the flute-playing man.
Okay, you're gonna load the top floor for me?
There is no top floor map. You have to use your imagination.
Okay. How do I... 15, I can't move towards him. 15.
Well, yeah, you're able to get up, basically right up next to him with the movement.
Okay. But I don't want to get up right next to him.
You don't have to be next to him. You can stop the movement early.
Yeah, but I don't know where I'm stopping. I don't know how far he is in there. I don't know.
He's about
I'm away from him.
He's about 10 feet from the edge of the stairs.
None of my stuff is 1 action. All my spells are 2 actions. Right, I will go right next to him then, because I got no other choice.
Yeah, as you run up, he appears distracted and doesn't see you approaching.
Oh, do I get advantage then? No, it's called
No, but
advantage.
he's flat-footed. Okay, so you run up and you strike at him. He sees you coming out the corner of his eye just in time and does avoid getting his head lopped off. But as he dodges out the way, his concentration on his flute playing breaks, and you see the kid stops moving and blinks a couple of times, and the woman the woman at the back, presumably the kid's mother, is whatever is holding her in place does appear to stop as the man turns towards you. Like,
you two, get out of here, quick! No, hang on, wrong voice. You two, get out now!
So the idiot let you through. As the kid runs past him.
Idiot if you employ idiots.
The kid runs past him and to his mother, and as she ushers him back into the room, and herself, you can see she holds a knife out in one hand towards the man.
Stay back.
I will make you pay for meddling in my affairs. I promise you that.
I've already died once today. Do I look scared?
He casts a glance back at the woman, then at you. I don't have the time for this. 3 will have to do. It's very soon.
Shoot twice by the time you stop talking. No.
Stay out of our way. As he claps his hands together and a flash of light emanates from him. I want you to make me a fortitude save, please. We are essentially out of initiative at this point. Wait, so you are not blinded by the light, but as the light flashes, he jumps, he darts into the child's bedroom, and you see him run in. The child is no longer in there, but he darts into the room, and we're essentially out of initiative at this point. So what do you want to do?
Well, not really, because Jabba's chasing after the other guy.
Yeah, and I'm also going to handle that. That's going to be probably going to end up being out of initiative too, because.
Well, I'm running after him.
Yeah, so you run after him into the room. He runs towards the window and appears to chant. You see a shimmer in the air in front of you as he runs through an invisible door, disappearing. You can see the door is still shimmering. You could run through yourself.
I went straight past. I went straight after him. Technically, I'm only like less than 5 feet away from him. So as he runs, I'm running. So as he goes through, I'm straight after him.
You want to follow him through the doorway?
Yeah.
Okay. You follow him through the doorway. We'll get to that. Meanwhile, Tazaki, as you are chasing the guy, you are initially slowed. Your movement is at first slowed by the fin. I need you to make me as you try to push through. As you reach the mist, you can feel it's like a wall that's sort of half solid. As you try to push through it is difficult to move through, and I need you to make me a athletics check.
All right.
Okay,
17.
so you do begin, and you're able to make some headway, and you move through the mist, and you do get to the other side. As you do, you can see the man running down the street, and is about 60 feet ahead of you. He's pretty far ahead. He's gained a fair bit of distance as you were pushing through the mist. What do you want to do?
Because I'm thinking back to what they remembered before. Goes ahead and believes that they're just gonna escape. So Tazaki tries to find the other members of the group.
Yeah. He does appear to be running in the same rough direction. He's running in the rough direction, but he's already run past the street which your group went down. So you're just going to go after the rest of the group, are you?
Well, does that mean that there's a chance they could come out and cut him off? Because I know they're healing.
Yeah, they were healing in first. So you want to go to find the other members of the group.
Yeah.
So as you instead do that, this guy just runs down and then disappears down an alleyway as you go to search for the rest of the group. And Magna steps into a portal. And I believe it'll be wise for us to leave it there for now. Yeah, we're gonna leave it there for now. At the end of the combat, and a rather interesting situation. So, I hope everybody enjoyed. It was maybe a bit of a messy one. But I hope everyone was able to enjoy it, nevertheless. And we'll be back next week without Amelia, however. So thank you everybody for coming and playing. I hope everyone had fun and everyone watching had fun. And we will see everybody next time. So until then, goodbye everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.